The recent accusations against Shia LaBeouf have fans reeling and looking back at his controversial history with a fresh set of eyes. His former girlfriend, singer FKA Twigs, recently filed a lawsuit against him, alleging he subjected her to what she claims was relentless abuse during their relationship. The lawsuit paints a harrowing account of that time. The singer, whose real name is Talia Barnett, alleges that after showering her with over-the-top displays of affection when they first got together, he became toxically controlling and violent. Her complaint states, "He brought me so low, below myself, that the idea of leaving him and having to work myself back up just seemed impossible." LaBeouf's rep hasn't yet responded to E!News' request for comment, but the actor said in a statement to the New York Times, "I have no excuses for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations. I have been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history and am sorry to those I hurt." In a follow-up email, he asserted that many of these allegations are not true, but he owed the women the opportunity to air their statements publicly, while he accepted accountability for those things I have done. LaBeouf added he's currently sober and in a 12-step program, as well as in therapy. Following the lawsuit, singer Sia showed support for FKA Twigs and made some allegations of her own, stating that she was hurt emotionally by the actor in the past and claiming she was, in her words, conned into an adulterous relationship with him. She alleged on Twitter, "I believe he's very sick and have compassion for him and his victims. Just know if you love yourself, stay safe, stay away." While he had previously acknowledged that he had some problems, it was not until writing the script for Honey Boy that he broached the subject of PTSD. "For a long time, I thought life was secondary to art," LaBeouf told Esquire in 2018. At the time, he was analyzing a string of behavior that got him arrested in 2017 for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct. In July of that year, LaBeouf was arrested in Savannah, Georgia, after allegedly becoming disorderly when a police officer and another pedestrian reportedly refused his request to bum a cigarette. LaBeouf was caught on camera ranting to a black cop who arrested him, which later caused him to reflect on his actions. "I am deeply ashamed of my behavior and make no excuses for it," he wrote on Twitter at the time. The actor pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charge of obstruction in the case and received probation. On Inauguration Day following the 2016 election, he set up inside the Museum of Moving Image and invited people to come in and say on camera, "He will not divide us." He was arrested outside the museum after allegedly grabbing a man's scarf and scratching him. The charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. In June 2014, he was arrested for disrupting a performance of Cabaret in New York City. Shia pled guilty to one count of disorderly conduct stemming from the incident, which would be withdrawn if he completed treatment. LaBeouf's rep later confirmed to E!News that while the actor hadn't checked into rehab, he was voluntarily getting treatment for alcohol addiction. The seemingly chaotic behavior also trickled into his work life. 4 months earlier, he made headlines after setting up shop for 5 days at a gallery in Los Angeles, where fans waited in line for hours for a chance to face a silent LaBeouf, again with a bag over his head, and try to provoke a reaction from him. He also walked out of the Berlin Film Festival press conference for Nymphomaniac Volume 1, and at the film's premiere, he wore a tuxedo but put a paper bag on his head with holes cut out for his eyes and "I am not famous anymore" written in black marker. In 2008, LaBeouf was in a rollover crash that crushed his left hand, requiring extensive surgery. He was also ticketed for unlawful smoking in Burbank, California that year, after lighting up on the street in a busy public area, which is not allowed. In November 2007, a 21-year-old LaBeouf was arrested after he refused an order from security to leave a Walgreens store in Chicago. He was initially charged with misdemeanor trespassing, but the case was dropped after the parties involved declined to press charges. He later apologized, saying, "It was a mistake I'm still completely embarrassed about."